Hermes Trismegistus, also known as Hermes the Thrice-Greatest, is a legendary Hellenistic period figure that originated as a syncretic combination of the Greek god Hermes and the Egyptian god Thoth. Hermes Trismegistus is the reputed author or source of the Hermetic writings, works of revelation on occult subjects, and theology. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Grimoire of Myths, the place where we dive deep into the mysteries that shape our world. Today, we're embarking on a journey into the mysterious world of Hermes Trismegistus and what Hermeticism is, so buckle up because we're about to unravel the mythos and explore the origins of the Hermes Trismegistus and the world of Hermeticism. Hermes Trismegistus may be associated with the Greek god Hermes and the Egyptian god Thoth. Greeks in the Ptolemaic kingdom of Egypt recognized the equivalence of Hermes and Thoth through the interpretation by Greek means. Consequently, the two gods were worshipped as one in what had been the temple of Thoth in Kemenu, which was known in the Hellenistic period as Hermopolis. Thoth was the scribe of the gods, the inventor of writing, and the patron of all the arts dependent on writing, including medicine, astronomy, and magic. At least as early as Herodotus, Greeks had identified him with their god Hermes, and by the 3rd century BCE the identification was official. The writings ascribed to Hermes Thoth fall into two main classes. Popular Hermeticism dealt with astrology and the other occult sciences, and learned Hermeticism concerned itself with theology and philosophy. From the Renaissance until the end of the 19th century, little attention was paid to the popular Hermetic literature. A more recent study has shown that its development preceded that of the learned Hermeticism, and that it reflects ideas and beliefs that were widely held in the early Roman Empire and are therefore significant for the religious and intellectual history of the time. The Hermetic literature among the Egyptians, which was concerned with conjuring spirits and animating statues, informed the oldest Hellenistic writings on Greco-Babylonian astrology and the newly developed practice of alchemy. In a parallel tradition, Hermetic philosophy rationalized and systematized religious cult practices and offered the adept a means of personal ascension from the constraints of physical being. This latter tradition has led to the confusion of Hermeticism with Gnosticism, which was developing contemporaneously. Hermes Trismegistus can attribute his name to the first datable occurrences of the epithet, Thrice-Great. In the Hellenistic age it was chiefly works on astrology which were ascribed to Hermes, to these were later added treatises on medicine, alchemy, and magic. The concept that underlies astrology, that the cosmos constitutes a unity and that all parts of it are interdependent, is basic also to the other pseudosciences. To make this principle effective in practice, it was necessary to know the laws of sympathy and antipathy by which the parts of the universe were related. Since these assumed affinities did not in fact exist and hence could not be discovered by ordinary scientific methods, recourse was had to divine revelation. There was a growing distrust of traditional Greek rationalism and a breaking down of the distinction between science and religion. Hermes Thoth was but one, if perhaps the most important, of the gods and prophets to whom knowledge seekers turned for a divinely revealed wisdom. Hermeticism was extensively cultivated by the Arabs, and through them, it reached and influenced such men as Albertus Magnus in the West. There are frequent allusions to Hermes Trismegistus in late medieval and Renaissance literature. Many Christian writers, including Lactantius, Augustine, Marsilio Ficino, Campanella, and Giovanni Pico della Mirandola, as well as Giordano Bruno, considered Hermes Trismegistus to be a wise pagan prophet who foresaw the coming of Christianity. They believed in the existence of a Prisca Theologia, a single true theology that threads through all religions. It was given by God to man in antiquity and passed through a series of prophets, which included Zoroaster and Plato. To demonstrate the verity of the Prisca Theologia, Christians appropriated the Hermetic teachings for their purposes. By this account, Hermes Trismegistus was either a contemporary of Moses or the third in the line of men named Hermes. Hermetic writings during the Middle Ages and the Renaissance, the Hermetica enjoyed great prestige and were popular among alchemists. Hermes was also strongly associated with astrology, for example by the influential Islamic astrologer Abu Mashar al-Balkhi. The Hermetic tradition consequently refers to alchemy, magic, astrology, and related subjects. The texts are usually divided into two categories: the philosophical and the technical Hermetica. The former deals mainly with philosophy, and the latter with practical magic, potions, and alchemy. The expression hermetically sealed comes from the alchemical procedure to make the philosopher's stone. This required a mixture of materials to be placed in a glass vessel which was sealed by fusing the neck closed, a procedure known as the seal of Hermes. Islamic tradition. Antoine Favre, in The Eternal Hermes, has pointed out that Hermes Trismegistus has a place in the Islamic tradition, although the name Hermes does not appear in the Quran. Hagiographers and chroniclers of the first centuries of the Islamic Hijra quickly identified Hermes Trismegistus with Idris, the Islamic prophet of Surahs 19-21, whom Muslims also identified with Enoch. According to the account of the Persian astrologer Abu Mashar al-Balkhi, Idris Hermes was termed thrice-wise Hermes Trismegistus because he had a threefold origin. The first Hermes, comparable to Thoth, was a civilizing hero, an initiator into the mysteries of the divine science and wisdom that animate the world. So now we know who Hermes Trismegistus is. What do his teachings entail? Hermeticism may refer to a wide variety of philosophical systems. Even the term Hermetic is from the medieval Latin Hermeticus, which is derived from the name of the Greek god Hermes. The most important of these is alchemy, also known as Hermetic art or Hermetic philosophy. Alchemy, or the operation of the sun, is not merely the changing of lead into gold. It is an investigation into the spiritual constitution, or life, of matter and material existence through an application of the mysteries of birth, death, and resurrection. The various stages of chemical distillation and fermentation, among other processes, are aspects of these mysteries that, when applied, quicken nature's processes to bring a natural body to perfection. This perfection is the accomplishment of the great work, the magnum opus. Throughout its history, Hermeticism was closely associated with the idea of a primeval, divine wisdom, revealed only to the most ancient of sages, such as Hermes Trismegistus. In the Renaissance, this developed into the notion of a prisca theologia or ancient theology, which asserted that there is a single true theology that was given by God to some of the first humans, and traces of which may still be found in various ancient systems of thought. Thinkers like Giovanni Pico della Mirandola. In late antiquity, Hermeticism emerged in parallel with early Christianity, Gnosticism, Neoplatonism, the Chaldean oracles, and late Orphic and Pythagorean literature. These doctrines were characterized by a resistance to the dominance of either pure rationality or doctrinal faith. The texts now known as the Corpus Hermeticum are dated by modern translators and most scholars to the beginning of the 2nd century or earlier. These texts dwell upon the oneness and goodness of God, urge purification of the soul, and expand on the relationship between mind and spirit. Their predominant literary form is the dialogue. Hermes Trismegistus instructs a perplexed disciple upon various teachings of the hidden wisdom. In 1945, Hermetic texts were found near the Egyptian town Nag Hammadi. One of these texts had the form of a conversation between Hermes and Asclepius. A second text told of the Hermetic mystery schools. It was written in the Coptic language, the latest and final form in which the Egyptian language was written. According to G. of Worms, Hermeticism was a Hellenistic mysticism analog with the fourth gospel, and Hermes Trismegistus was the Hellenized reincarnation of the Egyptian deity Thoth, the source of wisdom, who was believed to deify man through knowledge. The general philosophy of Hermeticism, the ultimate reality, is called by many names, such as God, Lord, Father, Mind, the Creator, the All, the One, etc. In the Hermetic view, God is both the All and the Creator of the All. All created things pre-exist in God, and God is the nature of the cosmos, being both the substance from which it proceeds yet the things themselves, and the cosmos were all created by God. Thus, God, the All, creates itself and is both transcendent as the creator of the cosmos and immanent as the created cosmos. Hermeticists believe in a prisca theologia, the doctrine that a single, true theology exists, that it exists in all religions, and that it was given by God to man in antiquity. In Hermetic thought, the movements of the planets are believed to have meaning beyond the laws of physics and hold metaphorical value as symbols in the mind of the All, or God, which influence the earth but do not dictate our actions. Wisdom is gained when we know what these influences are and how to deal with them, and this wisdom is astrology, or the operation of the stars. The discovery of astrology is attributed to Zoroaster, who is said to have discovered this part of the wisdom of the whole universe and taught it to man. Theurgy translates to the science or art of divine works and is the practical aspect of the Hermetic art of alchemy. Furthermore, alchemy is seen as the key to theurgy, the ultimate goal of which is to become united with higher counterparts, leading to the attainment of divine consciousness. When Hermeticism was no longer endorsed by the Christian Church, it was driven underground, and several Hermetic societies were formed. The Western esoteric tradition is now steeped in Hermeticism. The work of such writers as Giovanni Pico della Mirandola, who attempted to reconcile Jewish Kabbalah and Christian mysticism, brought Hermeticism into a context more easily understood by Europeans during the time of the Renaissance. A few primarily Hermetic occult orders were founded in the late Middle Ages and early Renaissance. In England, it grew interwoven with the Lollard family's traditions. Hermetic magic underwent a 19th century revival in Western Europe, where it was practiced by groups such as the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn and Rosicrucianism. Thank you for joining us on this mystical journey into the world of Hermes Trismegistus and Hermeticism. If you enjoyed this exploration, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the wonders of mythology and mysticism.